always just that active at defending. I think it's like.
People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian. Come on.
Thank you very much for that, Ian Wright. People deluded, I'm back again. First things first, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and in some cases, good night. I hope you're doing well and safe. I hope you're doing blessed. I hope you and your loved ones are in good health. Now, without wasting any more time, please don't forget, better yet, people, to smash the like button, comment either in the live chat or the comment section after, turn on your notifications, and don't forget to subscribe, people. All of these things boosts the YouTube algorithm. Make sure you're following on all social media. Now, again, the transfer window is close to being shut, people. Arsenal have confirmed 2 signings, Jakub Kiwior, Spazia, and Brighton's former player, Leandro Trossard. We've been linked with a bunch of players this month. We've been linked with a bunch of players today and yesterday. Check out the last videos, people, because we've been on task with that. Let's see what's going on in relation to the transfer window or transfer market or transfer rumours. As I always say, the dream is free. The hustle is sold separately, people. Now, scrolling first like this, we've been linked with Chiesa, who, despite having a big injury, I'm all for it, people. As we know, or as I always say, whether it's Zanolio, Locatelli, Chiesa, Milinkovic-Savic, Vlahovic, Torreira and Xhaka's moves once upon a time to Italian clubs, it seems like we're taking around the houses in Italy. So I always typically look at things with a pinch of salt. I know Chiesa's had a massive injury, and I know we've brought in Leandro Trossard, so that, you know, you could make less of a case for bringing in a wide man. But for what it's worth, if Juventus really are broken, do need to sell players, and this is why probably you're seeing a bunch of players linked with moves away. I'm all for Chiesa. He's of the right age, right side of 20, can play up front as well as primarily out wide. You know, I do think he has potential to be a household name in world football if he isn't already. Obviously, the injury has taken a lot out of him. I think it would be silly for him to leave Juventus, really, because it seems like he's got a big deal and, you know, he's somewhat the golden boy. But I'm all for it. We should have got him when he was at Fiorentina or whatever, because we used to be linked with him. Allegedly, people, it so happens that in England, Mikel Arteta's Arsenal are fully following the path traced by the Neapolitans in Italy. Okay, whatever that means. All right, cool. Can we just get to the bulk of this, people? The Gunners' great season could be crowned not only by a title that seems possible like never before this year, also by a top signing of those that would really allow Arsenal to establish itself permanently as a superpower of British and perhaps European football. Yes, Chiesa is the #1 objective of the Spanish coach, who at the moment enjoys the greatest favour from his management. Already credited with a possible move to Carlo Ancelotti's Real Madrid, as well as the object of acclaimed interest from Liverpool in him, the striker could be one of the excellent sacrifices at Juventus. More than probable failure to qualify for next season's Champions League somehow obliges the Juventus club to deal with the lack of revenue from the European competition. Among the candidate companies for the acquisition of, I guess, Chiesa, Arsenal is now fully registered. Google Translate hasn't helped us. I don't think he, of all people, being obviously Italian, wanting to move to Juventus, would snake Juventus if they didn't get Champions League. Obviously, they've been deducted points. But if he is available, bring him to the carpet. Simple as that. Apparently, Martin Zubimendi has already decided that he wants to move to the Premier League at the end of the season and has his heart set on Arsenal, not Barcelona, who want to replace Busquets, whose contract runs out in the summer. Ruben Neves of Wolves, who's also been linked with Barcelona and replacing Busquets. Apparently, Xavi has concerns, and Martin Zubimendi is the man they want. We've previously heard he does not want to leave mid-season because he feels a degree of loyalty to Sociedad, wants to help them finish as high as they can in the league and do what they're doing in the Europa. He does also share the same agent or agency as Mikel Arteta, so maybe indirectly we could have fielded the calls. Allegedly, we placed a bid for him in January, people. One would wonder, you know, that's in an ideal world, if you bring in Martin Zubimendi and Declan Rice, for example, to help revamp the midfield, that's about just over 100 million without considering other options or other areas Arteta wants to address. So one does believe that, I believe, when you look at Moses Caicedo, Zubimendi, Declan Rice, all of these guys we've been linked with in the last probably 48 hours, I would love 2 of the 3, but I think it's one where if you can't get Rice, you go for Caicedo. If Caicedo's giving more positive signals, you go for that. And then maybe you go for him, Martin in this case. So who really knows, people? But for what it's worth, the article has said Barcelona are set to face Martin Zubimendi the man who they want to replace Busquets. Obviously, it's Xavi's birthday today, and they're playing in the Copa del Rey. Allegedly, the 52 million valued midfielder has his heart set on Arsenal move. Arsenal reach an agreement to pay Zubimendi's 52.5 release clause. Barcelona are also interested, but won't be able to compete financially. Zubimendi turned down a move to the Gunners from Sociedad, people. So it is what it is. Arsenal target Martin Zubimendi faces Barcelona in the Spanish Super Cup on Wednesday. Scrolling down, people, Barcelona want Zubimendi to replace Busquets, whose contract runs out in the summer, but they cannot compete financially with Arsenal, and the player favours a move to England over staying in La Liga. Arsenal have reached an agreement with his club this month to pay his £52.5 million release clause, but the player does not want to leave his hometown team in the middle of the season, and a deal is more likely to happen at the end of the campaign, folks. Zubimendi has never hidden the fact that he wants to play in the Premier League at some point in his career, and rejected Real Sociedad's attempts to increase his release clause when his contract was last renewed. Allegedly, Xavi said he's a great player, but they are different. Zubimendi is more physical and quicker, while Sergio is more technical. Zubimendi, who turns 24 next month, said much the same as Xavi when he was asked about comparisons. He said, Busquets is unique as a holding midfielder. He's very good at what he does, the feints, the interceptions, and he's very clever in the way he passes in a forward direction after the ball is lost. I think he finds it harder when he has to track back. That's where I can be different, running back after the ball is lost, covering a lot of ground. So if you've got that Spanish ability on the ball, if you've got a lovely passing range, which he has, and he's great off the ball in terms of covering ground and tracking back, at 23, 24 years of age, it makes sense why Mikel Arteta wants to bring his countrymen to the Emirates, time with what we've got. I just don't know the credibility of this, Again, it would fill me with joy if you could bring both of them, but you'd imagine him and Declan Rice will probably play in the similar sixth position long term for Thomas Partey, even though Declan Rice probably could be played in that Xhaka role. Really, I'm really more for him being the Partey thing, but you get where I'm going with it, people. So we have to see. But ironically, he plays against Barcelona later today, people. So yeah, apparently we've reached an agreement. Whether that's true or not is another thing, people. We'll have to see how that develops. On the topic of Declan Rice, he will not negotiate with Florentino Perez because he has given his word to Arsenal's Mikel Arteta. Now, you have to be careful in business. Until I's are dotted, T's are crossed, words mean nothing. Words are a cheap currency. Doing's expensive. Until we've got a legal binding agreement, Declan Rice can give his word to Arsenal over Real Madrid or anyone as much as he wants. Even if, I would like to see him come to the carpet, of course. But even in worst case scenario, Declan Rice can give his word to Arsenal that he wants to sign for us. And then obviously, if we can't agree a fee with his potential current employers, then it doesn't matter really. But apparently Declan Rice is one of the covered that Real Madrid had on their agenda to strengthen the squad for next season. Florentino Perez has been closely following the West Ham captain for a long time, and in the past has even considered his incorporation, but did not present any firm offer after learning that it was non-transferable, and the player himself had no intention of leaving/changing scenery. But now the situation has changed radically. The 24-year-old midfielder is very disenchanted with David Moyes' project because in the current campaign, they are fighting not to be relegated, far from the goal they had set, which was to continue qualifying for European competitions. That has led him to want to pack his bags in the summer market, taking advantage of the fact he only has a contract until 2024, allegedly with the option of another one. He has notified the London board that he has no plans to renew and that he hopes to leave as soon as possible. At the moment, they've already placed a starting price of close to 90 million euros, which is the minimum figure that all his admirers will demand. A high investment, which at the Santiago Bernabeu was considering whether it was worth making. However, there's no chance that he'll end up joining the team currently managed by Carlo Ancelotti. And it is that Rice has already decided where his next challenge will be and what his next club will be. And he will not abandon his hometown since he has given his word to Arsenal to become one of the first galactic reinforcements to close the Gunners in the summer, says Google Translate. Mikel Arteta is very satisfied with the squad that he has available to him, which is the leader in the Premier League, but he's asked for several new faces. One of them is the former Chelsea man. The agreement with the footballer is completely closed and he will reject Real Madrid, Manchester United, Manchester City, Liverpool, and the rest of the teams that had his name on the agenda. Rice will become the most expensive deal in Arsenal's club's history, Arteta has no doubt that Rice is a necessary addition and the fact he has what it takes to succeed at the Emirates Stadium. For this reason, he has demanded they pay everything that the Hammers asked for, even if this means that the English international become the most expensive operation in the club's history. So again, read into that what you feel like, people. Sky Caval said, I think one of the big moves will be Declan Rice. It looks like he'll be leaving West Ham in the summer. At the moment, Arsenal are leading the race for his signature. Allegedly, people, Osimhen Diamandi, who's been linked with us and Sporting Lisbon, has now also been linked with Manchester City. Allegedly, Manchester City have made a bid for the FC Michelin defender, who's currently playing in the second division in Portugal, people. Arsenal and Sporting are also monitoring the 19-year-old centre-back progress, people. And there was rumours we actually wanted to buy him alone into Sporting. At 19 years of age, he's still at the elementary stage. I mean, if he was to buy him for the rumoured 10 million asking price and he develops into the first team, great. But if he becomes a 20, a 30 million pound player, you sell, you reinvest, it is what it is, people. So yeah, he's yet to make a senior appearance for Michelin, people, but he's gaining vital experience across Europe. So who knows exactly what's going to happen in relation to that. Weston McKennie remains one to watch between now and the end of the window. Allegedly, he's given his okay to sign for Leeds United. Juventus are open to a sale, but there's no urgency or cut price deal. Juventus see 20 million euros as too low. They actually like 30 plus million, nothing too significant in Arsenal links at this point, and no contact with Juventus, this says. Again, Fabrizio Romano has kind of correlated what Ben Jacobs has said. Weston McKennie has accepted Leeds United contract proposal. Personal terms are not an issue, and he'll probably link up with Tyler Adams over there. In relation to Fresneda, it's looking a bit rosy, people. Dortmund, and don't forget to smash the like button and them things there. Comment your own thoughts. Turn on your notifications. Dortmund close to reaching an agreement for Ivan Fresneda. Agents are in England talking to clubs about Fresneda. Nothing has been closed yet, and Real Valladolid are waiting for the best offer. Fabrizio Romano has said no decision by Ivan Fresneda yet. 15 million euro fee requested by Valladolid. Borussia Dortmund are pushing to get it done. Arsenal have to decide how to proceed in the next 24 to 48 hours. Valladolid want Fresneda to stay there on loan, and Dortmund are discussing about it, people. Dimarzio has said Ivan Fresneda, very, very good player of Real Valladolid. Arsenal is leading the race. Even Newcastle are interested, but Arsenal is leading the race for Fresneda. So many conflicting and contrasting reports depending on where you read. Arsenal could now miss out on Fresneda with the right back favouring a move to Borussia Dortmund, people. Dortmund have taken the lead over Arsenal in the race to sign the young man, people. Allegedly, both clubs have agreed a £13.1 million 15 million euro fee, and both sides have agreed personal terms, and apparently the personal choice is now down to Fresneda, people. Allegedly, Marsa claimed that he is leaning towards a move to Germany, people, and he won't be swayed by money. Apparently, Borussia Dortmund are also willing to let him stay at Valladolid until the end of the season, people. Really and truly. So we'll have to see how that develops, really. Again, conflicting and contrasting stuff. Peter O'Rourke said Arsenal in pole position to sign Ivan Fresneda after talks breakthrough. Arsenal are in pole position to make Real Valladolid sensation Ivan Fresneda their third January signing, sources have told Football Insider. The Gunners have climbed above Borussia Dortmund to be in pole position to land the right back on a buy-to-loan deal worth around 13 million after breakthrough in talks. It's believed that both Arsenal and Dortmund have submitted a bid around that mark for the 18-year-old. Arsenal are now confident of winning the race for the teenager, who has also attracted interest from Newcastle United. Once the transfer is completed, the rising star will head back on loan to Spanish club Real Valladolid for the rest of the season. Should the Londoners now finalise a deal for Fresneda, he'll become their third senior January signing after Leandro Trossard and Jakub Kiwior, people. So we'll have to see really and truly what happens there. And he's come a long way since spending time in his youth days at, well, he's still in his youth days at Leganes and Real Madrid. And yeah, man, he'll probably, if he's got disability, then he'll probably be a Spanish international not before too long, people. Apparently, Arsenal have 24 to 48 hours to make decision over Fresneda signing, people, according to reports, if we wish to stay in contention. So genuinely going to have to see. Apparently, agreement's already been made with Dortmund and they're moving slightly ahead, and he'll sign a deal until 2028 with Borussia Dortmund. So it all depends where you read. Onana, who's been linked with us, the Everton man, apparently missed training. So we'll have to see how that develops. We've seen this before. We've also seen that Arsenal plan to hijack Chelsea's move for Brighton star Moses Caicedo this summer. Could it be third time lucky where Mudryk and João Felix were? Again, I think he's just on a list along with Declan Rice and maybe, players of that sort of ilk and just below, people that address the midfield area. I don't know, people. They've rejected 2 bids from Chelsea. Arsenal reportedly eyeing a move for Brighton Brighton midfielder Moses Caicedo and will rival Chelsea in the race for the Ecuador international this summer. The 21-year-old has been widely linked with a move to Stamford Bridge this month, but the Blues have seen 2 bids rejected for him. The midfielder is reportedly keen on a transfer, but was not willing to force through a departure from Brighton, and Chelsea are now resigned to missing out on him in January. Apparently, the Gunners may now potentially rival the Blues when they revisit a move for the Ecuadorian in the summer. Arsenal are keen to sign a new midfielder for next season, with the Gunners lacking strength in depth in that position. Declan Rice is emerging as one of the top targets, with the 24-year-old widely expected to leave West Ham in the summer. Mikel Arteta's side are also looking at an alternative to Rice, and Caicedo has emerged as a strong option, people. And the man himself, Moses, has said, I am focused on Brighton. I am here. I am playing every day. Things from the outside don't trouble me, nor does it take that focus away, because I'm only focused on here. I handle the speculation well. You hear rumors here and there, but I only try to be focused on the club where I am, the club that opened the doors for me to be playing every week. And it doesn't help him to say anything different at this moment in time, people. So we'll have to see. With the potential hijack of Chelsea's move for the Brighton midfielder, it could be seen as the attempt to get revenge from the Gunners after they were gazumped to the signing of top target Mikhail Mudryk this January. We'll also have to see how that one there develops. But for what it's worth, apparently he has changed agents. Brighton want to keep him, but Arsenal, Chelsea, and Liverpool are well informed on his situation. It's one to watch in the final days of the January transfer window, says Fabrizio Romano. People, for what it's worth, allegedly there's concerns within Arsenal about the midfield options. There's concerns at Arsenal, and there has been since the start of the season. What if we end up with an absence in the midfield? There have been times when it's happened and it hasn't been ideal for them, but they ultimately got through it and they're still top of the league. They would like the right fit again. They're not going to go and sign someone just for the sake of it, people. Amen. To wrap this up, seeing what's going on with Goal.com with the transfer news, people. As you can see, we've been linked with Chiesa. Arsenal make Chiesa their #1 transfer target, people. Allegedly, Mikel Arteta has identified him as the #1 target to strengthen their attack, and Arsenal's title charge under Spanish boss this term could help to lure the winger to move to the Emirates Stadium. Let's see what's going on there. And he has been plagued by injuries, people. Apparently, Dortmund are winning the race to sign Fresneda, as we've kind of seen. We've also talked about Osman Diomandi. Fresneda is close to signing for Arsenal, allegedly. We've turned our attention to Moses Caicedo in the summer. We're keeping tabs on Warren Zaire Emre, the young man at PSG who's got a bright future. Allegedly, we could compete for Onana, Amadou Onana of Belgium and Everton. Apparently that's a summer thing as well, even though apparently Brighton need to make money now. Their club's up for sale and they sacked their gaffer. So yeah, we'll have to see how all of these things develop, people. Please let me know your thoughts. Smash the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Stay blessed, stay safe, and I'll see you lot again soon.
There's always that active and defending. I think it's like